Good morning, everyone. Guess what we're making today? Appam. One without yeast, but using my 5-in-1 dosa batter or breakfast batter. Please refer to that recipe. This recipe is very simple. All you do is add some coconut milk to the batter and some sugar, and you'll be set to make beautiful appams. And I usually serve it with coconut milk or chicken stew. And today that is what is cooking in the kitchen. This is a recipe very favorite in our family. Everybody loves it. The minute I say appam for breakfast, everybody wakes up early, and it makes a great dinner also. So please do try, and let me know in the comment section how you like this recipe. It's very simple, and I use some canned goods and frozen goods, which is very convenient and handy. Let's make life simple and easy, but not compromise on the taste. Okay, so let's get cooking our appam. So there's multiple process or steps for making appam. First we'll make the coconut milk. I have a can of coconut milk, and I'm going to add about half of it with milk and half water. The same can I'm going to pour, and then we're going to add sugar or erythritol based on what you need, and some pinch of salt and some cardamom powder. So that will be our milk, and let's get making. So pour your can. I already opened it. It's way too thick. That's why I add water and milk. So half a can of water and half a can of milk. So here's my can of half a can of water and half a can of milk, and I've used lactate because we are lactose intolerant, and we're gonna mix it with our coconut milk and give it a good whisk, and then we'll add our sugar to taste, salt a pinch, and cardamom powder, and your milk is ready. You can dilute it if you want, but this is the way I make it: equal proportion of coconut milk and regular milk and water. Okay, so I need to talk a little bit about the coconut milk actually. In general, I use this brand called AROY-D, AROY-D, and there is a can specifically for desserts, and if you use that, you will not even know that it is from a can. Okay, many people are not comfortable using canned products, but I feel it gives me the flexibility of making appam quite often, and I don't like to keep messing with my hands into my food, and many of them would prefer to do it all from scratch, but it's time consuming. Okay, we live in a fast-paced world, and this definitely is pretty safe. And if you see these chunks of fat floating or the cream floating, zap it in the microwave for about 30 to 40 seconds and it'll all be gone. Okay, this is a new can that I've used, a new brand, what I had at hand, but in general I would prefer the AROY-D version for desserts. So if you go to 99 Ranch or any Chinese store, you will find that, or even your regular American grocery stores, look for AROY-D. Okay, so that is one tip. And let's get making our batter for appam. I have about 3 cups of my 5-in-1 batter that I use, and we're going to add about half a cup to a cup of the coconut milk that we made. This is going to enhance the flavor and make it the appam consistency. And once I have it all mixed in, if you need a protein style appam, I will actually break an egg into my batter. I do this separately. I'll break an egg, add some batter, and make my appam. Okay, so let's get our batter ready first, and then I'll talk about the equipment used for appam. And this is pretty thick batter right now. This is the 5-in-1 batter. 4 cups of rice, 1 cup of urad dal, some fenugreek, some poha or cooked rice is what this is consisting of. And then you're going to ferment it for 8 hours, and then you get this thick batter. but we're going to loosen it up with some water and coconut milk. So right now it's super thick. We have to make it into a runny consistency. Okay, our appam batter is ready. It has to be a nice loose pouring consistency because we have to swirl the batter in the pan to make the appam shape. Okay, and for the non-veg version or the protein style, I have an egg whisked up. I will in general add about 3 to 4 scoops of batter and whisk it and make my protein style. Okay, very simple. The whole thing turns a little nice pale beautiful yellow, and that's what will make our appam. So this batter doesn't have any yeast or baking soda, nothing. Okay, the urad dal in my 5-in-1 batter works beautifully well, and you just need to ferment it, and the batter has to be slightly sour. Okay, so let's get showing you the equipment that I need. So this is my appam chatti or appam pan. It is very shallow but has a little curvature to it. I've used this for almost 20 years, so this is how it looks. I have 2 of them because I have a family who love it, and I have, in fact, this wok also works as an appam pan. If you have a matching lid for any wok, please use it. And all these need to have a snug lid. Okay, I don't know where I lost the other lid, but this came with the pan. Okay, and it's a non-stick version and it works beautifully. And so definitely get a pan. If you don't have one, get a wok with a matching lid and you're good to go. Okay, let's get making. So now let's make a stew before we make our appam. I have some whole spices, about 5 to 6 cloves, 2 cardamom, some bay leaf, a cinnamon stick, and 1 medium onion chopped, and 2 green chilies slit up. And I have a generous portion of ginger and garlic. I chopped it fine because there is meat and everything, and the coconut milk may be heavy for your system. So this will help deal with your cholesterol issues. And I have about 2 tablespoons of each and some curry leaves. And in this bowl I have some baby carrots that I had at hand, and 1 medium baking potato that I'm going to remove the skin and chop it into cubes. Same thing with the carrots. I can put it whole, but I prefer to chop each one into like 4 or 5 pieces, and some cilantro for garnish at the end. And I will also squeeze half a lime in the end as well. And I have chicken thighs with the bone. Okay, don't use without the bone. With the bone adds flavor because it's a stew, like almost a soup. And I have my pan going, but before that, this will be cut into pieces, like small bite-sized pieces, so it will soak in all these juices. And then I have a can of coconut milk. So this is the can of coconut milk I'll be using. So let's go ahead, heat up our pan and get cooking. So I have my pan ready. I have about 2 to 3 tablespoons of oil. I use sesame oil. You could use anything. And we'll give it a minute. And we're going to add our onion, our curry leaves, our green chilies, and our ginger garlic. Toss everything will get fried fine because we don't want it to be browned. Okay, this recipe you don't want anything browning, it just needs to be translucent. Okay, so this gravy or the stew looks always pale. There is no turmeric or any masala other than the spice from the green chili. At the most I would add is pepper powder. That would be towards the end. Okay, check the spices in between and make sure it's all balanced out. So let these onions wilt a bit and we'll come back. So my onions are nice and glassy, got translucent. I have my chicken cut up. Please make sure you chop it a little smaller. It was chicken thighs. I chopped it and I decided to add some green peas as well. I have everything chopped and ready to go. And for those of you who are vegetarians, you could omit the chicken. Okay, just use the vegetables. So let's add our chicken and saute it well for a couple of minutes, and then we'll add our vegetables. Drain out the water because chicken will give you some moisture out as it cooks. So no turmeric powder, nothing needed. This is a pale looking stew. Let it saute for a little bit, then we'll add our vegetables. Let's go ahead and add our vegetables. So if you're a vegetarian, just stick to the vegetables, okay? Don't have to go about adding your, you can add more vegetables of your choice, like beans. But yeah, it's the same principle, okay? And go ahead, add some salt. This will serve about 4 to 5 people. And the chicken was just about 1.5 pounds. How pretty and colorful it looks for a breakfast, right? Very healthy. At the same time, you can whip it up in a jiffy. Doesn't take too many ingredients. So please do try our chicken stew. So I'm going to add some water and then later some coconut milk and garnish with lime juice and curry leaves and some cilantro. Well, I turn off the stove. So I'm going to add half a cup of water. There will be water released from the chicken as well, but just to make sure our meat and our veggies are all cooked through. And now I'm going to add the lid. Let it cook on medium so your chicken doesn't get super hard. Okay, lower the flame slightly and cook it for about 6 to 7 minutes, and then we'll add our coconut milk. It's been about 6 minutes. Let's go ahead and check. So our meat is almost done. I think we'll give it another 2 more minutes. Let's go ahead and add a small tiny spoon, almost a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper powder, and another equal proportion of cumin powder, just to flavor it a bit. Now let's go ahead and add our coconut milk. I'm going to add half a can for this. It's way too thick. This is a total different brand that I've never used. So I'm going to just check and see how it looks and feels before I add more. And you can dilute it with some more water if it's too thick. Oh, this looks so delicious and yummy. Wow. So please do try, seriously. It was a bit too thick, so I went ahead and added some more water and coconut milk to loosen it, because it'll thicken as it cools down also. Okay, check for the salt and other flavors and adjust if you need to add some more pepper based on your taste. Okay, and make sure to recycle all your cans. Definitely recycle. Okay, once you add the coconut milk, don't boil it too much, then your fats and everything will separate out. So we're going to garnish with some cilantro and turn off the stove and add about 2 tablespoons. It's half a lemon. Okay, lime juice, and you're done. And put a lid on it until you're ready to make your appam and serve with it. Okay, so let's do that. So let's get making our appam. I have 2 pans. I'm going to show you one with the egg, one without the egg. The sugar, the cardamom, the salt, everything has been balanced out just by adding the coconut milk that we'll be serving with the appam. I've added about half a cup to almost 1 cup of the liquid, so it's already flavored and ready to go. Okay, no yeast, no baking soda, no nothing. Okay, and appam is very delicate. It's almost like a idli, fried idli. There is a very delicate film of dosa consistency around a big idli in the middle. So let's try and make it, okay? Make sure the pan is well seasoned. Use a tissue paper with some oil and just swirl it just for the beginning, okay? It is a non-stick pan. Oh boy, this is rotating like crazy. Okay, just to make sure. Lower the heat, and now we're going to get pouring our batters. So first one is the non-veg one, the one with the egg. Pour like about half a cup, and you need both your hands to twirl it. There's a very careful process. You twirl it because I'm doing it with one hand. I've yet to get equipment to make it all fancy. That's our egg appam. So we're gonna go put some oil around a little bit. Sometimes it doesn't need any, and I'm using olive oil. And we put a lid and let it crisp up for like 2 to 3 minutes. Let's do the plain one. Same thing, wrap some batter. I'll put 2 ladles. This is a small ladle. And same thing, twirl it. Okay? So that's how you do it. And make sure, you grease it again. Put slight oil around and put the lid on and let it do its cooking. And you see how the batter is all a bit thick in the middle? That's how it should be. It should be thin on the sides and thick in the middle. So let's put the lid and lower the heat a bit. Just getting a bit too brown. Okay, so let's check and see how our egg one is doing. Okay, time to remove it. So it comes out very easy. You don't struggle. I have a pan or a plate with my coconut milk and the stew, and I will plate it. In general, I will use a shallow bowl, a salad bowl like that, to plate it, so it's easy to pour the milk and eat it. So I've poured one more of the egg appam, put some oil, and put the lid, let it cook for 2 to 3 minutes. Let's check and see how our other appam is doing. And make sure the center is cooked through, okay? When you put a finger, it shouldn't stick to your hands. It needs a little more getting done. So this is done. Actually, it got a little overdone, and it comes out super easy. You plate it and pour the coconut milk over it. If this is the bowl I'm using, this is how we eat it. If I'm using with the stew, I'm going to plate it and dunk it and eat it with the stew. Okay. This one, same thing. It's so crispy and crumbly on the side, soft in the middle. So same thing. We Indians use our hands, so don't be shy about it. Everything tastes good with our hands. You can't eat this with a fork and a knife. People, please. That is so yummy. So please do try the one with the egg and a plain one, and the 5-in-1 dosa batter goes very well. I'm going to try not to burn it this much next time. Okay, you'll be better than me. All right, so enjoy and make it for your families, and let me know in the comment box how you like this recipe. Thank you for watching. Bye.